Yo, what's going on, guys? Jay here, back with another video. So today's video is going to be my review on UFC 5 to let you know if there's any problems or whether you should buy it or not. On top of that, so I've got 49 hours in the game. When you bear in mind when IGN do their reviews, they usually have less than 30. Um, the first part of this video is actually going to be a few clips of me, so you can make up your mind whether this is actually worth watching or not. But anyway, let's jump straight into the clips, and yeah, I will get you at the other side. Back in a sec. Yo, alright, so welcome back if you have made it to this stage in the video. So let's get started in the review. So first of all, this game came out on the 24th of October, which is just over 2 months ago. It's insane that the game's been out for that long already. Honestly, I feel like it's been out for longer. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to discuss is crossplay. So there is absolute no crossplay in this game. If I can remember correctly, the reason for that is actually because they wanted to focus on the gameplay and the new engine that they've created for this game. I think that's insane that there's no crossplay. I mean, every single other EA game has crossplay. You know, I have friends on Xbox that I want to play with, but I can't. You know, and they're not going to go and buy a PS5 just to play the game with me, are they? So that would be a silly decision. So yeah, no crossplay, guys. So don't think you can buy this and go ahead and play with your friends on other consoles. Let's talk about the gameplay. So the gameplay is actually really good in this game. It's much more smooth than UFC 4 in my opinion, along with the graphics. You know, this game does feel a lot better. The only sad thing is with the animations, right? They haven't actually. So all the animations have been updated. So across the board, right? All the animations have been updated. New body kicks, new roundhouses to the head, new hooks, that kind of stuff has all been updated. The only problem is they've actually they've updated them all, but they've kept it across the board for all the fighters. There's very few fighters that have unique animations. You know, some fighters have got unique hooks, some fighters have got unique kicks, and some fighters have unique lunges, like Dominic Cruz and Mike Tyson, for instance, has unique signature lunges. But apart from that, all the fighters kind of feel the same. Obviously, every fighter has their own playstyle, they have their own stats, perks, that type of stuff, combinations. So everyone is still different, and obviously some fighters are faster, some are slower. So yeah, the gameplay in general, graphics is beautiful. The only thing I don't like, right, is the servers. So what happens is when you go into a game, you'll be given an indication on what the ping will be. So generally speaking, if it's less than 60, you're not going to have an issue. However, you can get like 24 ping and the game still be laggy as anything, right? So you can't even really use ping as an indication of how well your game's going to be. I mean, I've played between 100 and 200 ping before and had absolute no lag, and played with 20 ping and had an insane amount of lag. It's just the servers are really crap, so that's probably my only concern with it. But yeah, gameplay is actually really good. It's been updated since UFC 4, and it's really nice. Next thing is hit detection. Let's briefly discuss hit detection since I actually made a full-blown video on it the other day. So, in my opinion, hit detection is in actually a good place. The reason hit detection or people feel like hit detection is a problem is because when they go to specifically evade a strike, they'll get hit by it. Now, the reason that generally happens is because when you evade, you throw a strike, and if you throw a strike after evading and they throw a strike at the exact same time as you, their strike will land. You need to wait for their animation to finish before you actually pull off your own strike, your counter strike. Other than that, hit detection, it ranges, right? So if you go for a head roundhouse or body kick or something like that, sometimes, they'll land when you're out of range, which is really, really annoying. However, it is a game and it can't be 100% perfect. Sometimes the game's going to think it's landing where it looks like it shouldn't, and that is probably down to ping if that is happening. But other than that, hit detection's actually okay. Vulnerability damage is incredibly inconsistent. You can slip two strikes, right? You can slip a straight once and then throw your own hook, and that'll do major damage. You can do it again and it does absolute no damage. It's really inconsistent, and that's what's annoying. Especially when somebody throws a head kick, you duck that, throw a hook, right? And it does absolute no damage. That is the worst feeling ever, because that should generally feel like such a reward. Ducking a head kick is such a reward, or takes a lot of skill to do, and it's really annoying when you're not rewarded for doing so. Especially if you're against a good opponent and they're throwing front head kicks and roundhouses to the head, which makes it harder to duck it and evade a head kick. But anyway, that's all I'll say about that. So the next thing is what's changed from UFC 4 to UFC 5. So as I mentioned, a lot of the animations have changed to make them look better. And they do look better, don't get me wrong. As I mentioned earlier as well, I feel like it's more smoother. The game feels smoother than UFC 4. However, they've changed a lot of the button controls, right? So, back on UFC 4, an uppercut would be X and square and circle and triangle. Whereas in this game, it's R1 square and R1 and triangle. Clinch is different, overhands are different, and takedowns are different. So if you're a good UFC fighter or UFC player rather, and you're picking this game up, please remember it's going to take you a good 10 to 20 games to get used to this game. You're not going to jump in and be amazing. It takes a lot of muscle memory to adapt to these new button movements, right? But on top of that, when I first got this game, I really, really didn't like the new buttons for the new strikes. However, now that I'm used to them, I actually prefer them, and they're a lot easier to maintain now with the new controls that they have. So I'm actually quite happy about the button changes there. Game modes. There's only one new game mode, right? And it's online career mode. I'm gonna completely skip by it because I haven't played it. I haven't played a single game. I'm not interested in it. I'm only interested in playing quick play or quick fight and ranked. So we're gonna skip by that. Other than that, there's absolute no other changes from UFC 4 to UFC 5. Body health. Body health is a bit of a hard one to balance, right? In this game, you don't do a lot of body health, and that kind of cuts back into, vulnerability as well. So, stamina in this game is too overpowered. Now, I know they have nerfed it a little bit, but stamina is too overpowered, and to counter that you could do extra body damage, because in this game generally it would take 3 body strikes in a row to do a severe amount of damage to potentially get a body rock. Other than that, jabbing at the body here and there, it doesn't do much damage, and it kind of feels like a waste of time. And because stamina is so high and it takes a long time to drain your stamina, or your opponent's stamina to drain, you would think that body shots would be more damaging, for another way for you to get rid of your opponent's stamina, so they can't just keep throwing for days. But you can throw for days in this game. So I think if they balance stamina and body health to a certain degree, it will make the game a lot better. But that's going to take time to do. UFC 4 was out for years. This game's going to be out for years. So I don't doubt they will get it correct one day. But at the moment, stamina is definitely needing a nerf, and body health is definitely needing a buff, or body damage is needing a buff rather. Clinch, grappling, and the new submission system. So, what's different? Absolutely nothing. Well, kind of. So, clinch is... They made a big deal out of clinch being different. The only thing that's different is evading being clinched. They've just made it easier to evade. But people only clinch, right, if they're losing the game and they want free damage. So, clinching's negligible. No one does it, so let's just skip it. Grappling, absolute nothing's changed either. Absolute zero. It's the exact same. Submissions has changed. It's now submission game, which they have not done a very good job, in my opinion. It's now a crucifix on steroids. When you're trying to submit somebody, they have 2 ways to go, left and right. If you're trying to submit, you have 2 ways to go. Up for submit, and down for a more dominant position. Oh, I forgot to mention, you can also drain your opponent's stamina in submission. So it just creates this really odd, weird submission game style. It's absolutely horrible. Lastly, takedowns. So takedowns is a lot harder to do this year. The moment that you get good at denying takedowns, your opponent is really going to struggle to take you down. It is very slow. You have a lot of time to react, and takedowns just isn't great. But in general, I would recommend buying this game. It is very addictive. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Take it easy, and I will see you all next time.